week, penultimate day, in fact. Today we have NBSI versus AD, and then later on we have the RB game, White Rhinoceros versus Doradler. So we're basically, guys, just waiting on the teams to ready up and get underway. I think they've also been discussing what server to use, because obviously you have NBSI all the way in Japan, and you have AD all the way in Russia. So they're trying to discuss who's going to be on what server. So the first flight is a test flight. Essentially a ping test. It will start very soon, guys, I promise. Trust me, I want to see this game just as much as you guys. I mean, this is just a ping test, guys, but I mean, hey ho. We'll watch it anyways, just so you guys know that there is something going on. And I'm not lying to you. I do promise that as soon as this game is officially underway, I will let you know. Again, guys, this is just a ping test. But we can all see that they are going to be using the Yak 1B. This is the plane they will be using for the entire tournament. Again, this is probably because the NBSI guys are from Japan. They obviously don't want an unfair advantage being this late in the tournament. For anybody who's watched any of the other games, the Yak 1B and the BF-109 are the two most popular planes. So it isn't a surprise that we see it again today. Again, this is just a ping test. All players will be using the Yak, guys. So that should be the end of the ping test. Should. And yes, this is sim mode. Some of them will be using joysticks. I know some of the NBSI teams actually use mouse and keyboard. I think one of their members does. One of their teams also used a controller. Alrighty then, guys. The arbiter is called for 30 seconds. So the match will be officially underway in 30 seconds, guys. The teams are just readying up. So this is the loser bracket final. Whoever wins this will go up against Team Verve Gaming. Let's get this game underway. As I've already said, they will be using the Yak 1B. A plane that we have seen a lot in this tournament. A very good plane. That 20mm cannon is not to be messed with. The first 4 rounds will be a 1v1. So they sort of pass over each other to begin with. They can't just go head on with each other. So we have Conta versus Corneve. Again, flying the Yak-1B. This is simulator, guys, so they will be locked in cockpits. We'll also be seeing and hearing a lot of flap action, trying to use those flaps to get as much lift as possible. Being simulator, we also don't get any kind of nice little notifications. So you can hear the guys starting to use flaps, trying to sort of stop each other from overshooting, in as much lift as possible. See, right now AD has the advantage being on the tail of NBSI, using landing flaps to stop an overshoot. Instantly critted. I mean, the Yak-1B can sometimes go out, but that right wing is pretty badly critted. That 20mm cannon doing excellent work. This could well be the fastest simulator battle I think I've ever seen. Normally simulator battles normally become sort of turning circles for about 20 minutes until somebody sort of decides what to do. That was a showcase of how powerful that 20mm cannon really is. So there we go, guys. The first leg will go to AD. They just need to win another 2 and they will take the first point of the series. Now we just wait for the teams to sort of ready up. This is simulator, guys, and these guys are some of the best of the best. They've gone through a lot, beating a lot of teams, and the only way to get into the Super Cup was to beat another 50 or so teams. So these guys are very good. But it was just unlucky for the NBSI team. They just couldn't get the lift early on, and AD just using those landing flaps just to stop an overshoot. Staying right on his tail. Doing a very good job. So again, guys, 30 seconds. And then we'll get into the second 1v1. They are using the Yak because that's the plane that the team captains voted on, essentially. But the winner of this will go up against Team Verve Gaming, and they are currently undefeated in the Super Cup. And that will be the grand final, and that will be tomorrow. And NBSI were in the finals versus Team Verve Gaming, and this was the first loss was just a few days ago. So these guys, the NBSI guys are very good, as well as the AD guys, almost going, not losing a single point in the loser bracket. So while this might be the loser bracket, they're going up against a lot of good teams. So just because it says loser bracket doesn't mean they're bad. I would most definitely not want to face any of these teams in any match. If you go and look at the leaderboards for the RB guys, Team Verve Gaming is top. So just goes to show how good those guys are. This is the kind of circle I was talking about, guys. Normally happens in simulator games. Neither guy really wants to kind of make the first move or the first mistake. And McCoffey managing to get his nose up, but he obviously doesn't want to spray too much, otherwise he'll lose a lot of energy and won't be able to keep up with Mobius, and Mobius will kind of just fly away. McCoffey really using those landing flaps, try and get as much lift out of the plane as possible. Both guys now using landing flaps. They obviously want to be careful not to snap the landing flaps. And again, guys, doing the dance of death. Both guys just doing what they do best in simulator. I do feel that the person who will make the first move normally loses, because they'll try and do something creative. They'll lose a lot of energy, and then the other guy will kind of just take advantage of that. And again, with this being simulator, they've also got to not only turn the plane, but also try and find the guy. They're also getting rather close to the terrain. Which is much harder to see in simulator, is that you don't get a very good perspective. If this was RB, it'd be a much easier time sort of observing the terrain and your surroundings, being as it is third person. But we can see that Mobius is starting to catch up slightly. He's got that extra bit of momentum coming into the turn. Circle. McCoffey's starting to lose a lot of speed. Come on, just get the nose up just a little bit. I believe in you, Mobius. Oh, that was rather unlucky. That was a bad place and time to stall. Unfortunately, stalling out and now going straight into the mountain. I did say that the first person to do something creative normally loses, but McCoffey deciding that now was the right time to, I guess, pull out of the turn. And obviously Mobius shooting, he lost a lot of momentum. But not a good idea from Mobius. So that means that AD take the second 1v1. So they only need to win one more, and they will take the first point in the series. Yes, the very BM aerobatic smoke. What we gotta do now is wait another 30 seconds, and we will get into the potential final 1v1 if AD can take the third round. They are going to keep using the axe, guys. That is the plane that they've voted on. They do use the same plane to keep it even. You wouldn't want somebody saying, well, the reason they won is because they used a better plane, so they keep them in the exact same plane. The tournament does have a preset of 9 planes that they choose from. The Ag-9T is not one of them. So moving into the potential final 1v1, if AD can win this round. So for AD we have B777R versus Mohiga. I don't want to jinx it, but from the games we've sort of spectated, Mohiga does normally win his 1v1s. So we'll see if he can pull it out of the bag. Although B77R is also exceptionally good in his 1v1s. His 2v2s are also very good. I can't remember who his partner is. I think it's normally a coffee. So they're not allowed to shoot each other in the first pass. They can't go head on with each other. B77R having the height advantage. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw sort of landing flap sort of soon-ish. Try and stop him from overshooting and sort of getting that extra lift. Now that he's behind, I would recommend using sort of landing flaps to try and keep himself from overshooting, sort of going into a scissors. I think those are going to be takeoff flaps. Probably moving into landing flaps now. Most simulator guys normally do have all flaps on different keys, so they can use them as soon as possible. Going into a spin. That is most definitely not the best time to be going into a spin. Mohiga now right on the tail of B77R. As we saw in the first round, it only takes sort of 1 or 2 hits of the 20mm cannon to set somebody on fire. Cannon is exceptionally powerful. And I mean, the Yak is a pretty tanky plane. So I mean, it can take a few hits, but this is simulator, and nobody wants to take any hits in simulator. First crit normally means the plane is just out of commission, especially on the wing. It'll just drag to the left. I actually think B77R has actually been hit. Yeah, his engine's sort of been hit. You can see coolant falling out of the plane, or leaking from the plane. Again, moving into the Dance of Death. Although I am surprised neither of them are using flaps. Again, rather low to the terrain, so hopefully we won't see another stall from NBSI. But that's a lot of coolant falling out of that plane. It's almost sort of clogging the circle that they're flying in. Well, I mean, it's a circle. I think it's a nice name for it. And I mean, it happens so frequently that I've decided to name a circle after it. NBSI going to stall out again. Can B77R take advantage of that? Or is the ground going to finish off the NBSI guy again? Or is B77R going to hit a tree? No, just managing to pull up. That engine must be becoming quite weak. So there is a lot of... I think it's water. But, I mean, the Yak plane does normally fly for a considerable amount of time without an engine. We saw it a week ago. And it was actually in an NBSI game. Oh, B7 House ruling out. As these guys are going so slow, they really do need to watch out for the trees. Trees are one of the biggest killers in War Thunder. I mean, I feel like B77R is on borrowed time, considering that engine, although it has been leaking for now a considerable amount of time, is going to die at some point. I mean, neither guy can really get their nose up to even hit anyone. It's going so slow. We could be here a while. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they did ram into each other. I mean, we have seen rams in these tournaments. Even though these guys are the best of the best, rams can still happen. I mean, it actually won one team a game, so it is a legit tactic. That is a bad idea. That is a tree. So trees once again killing more people than planes in this game. They were just going too slow. Just wasn't able to pull up. So AD will take the first point. As we move into the 2v2s in just a second. CIS is the Commonwealth of Independent States. I couldn't remember what the first word was. So AD is the if you must know what was being clicked, it was the text files to update the scores. So guys, we are moving into the 2v2. Hang on a sec. Oh no, they're going to play the final 1v1 first. Okay. I was rather roaring for a second there. But no, they do normally let other people do... they do normally have everybody fly in the 1v1s and letting everybody have a go. But I thought they were going to move straight into the 2v2s. But everybody wants a chance, right? I'll take that $100 on trees. So just before we do move into the 2v2 guys, we're just going to have the final 1v1. I mean, Team Verve Gaming have won 3 out of the 4 1v1s, so the victory here for NBSI doesn't really make that much of a difference. But, I mean, Hanzo might want to warm up before the 2v2s, so might as well give him the opportunity. I mean, if anybody has been following NBSI, they do actually normally lose their 1v1s. And then they normally bring it back in the 2v2 and the 4v4. So we'll just have to wait and see. And they did beat AD a few weeks ago. So this is essentially a rematch. So, I mean, if NBSI did it once, I feel like they could do it again. So, this is what normally happens in Simulator War Thunder. Well, in the Super Cup, anyways. I mean, you gotta remember, guys, they can't land, they can't take off, they haven't got any AA to fly to, they haven't got any teammates. They're in the identical planes, so they can't use any kind of advantage that the plane would have. So, I mean, if they were flying, I don't know, a BF-109 and a Spitfire, you obviously wouldn't be turning a BF-109 versus a Spitfire, you'd be using your speed. But as they are in identical planes, they turn as hard as each other, they climb as hard as each other, they fly as fast as each other. They've just got to wait for one guy to make a mistake. You've got to have patience. So, I mean, if either team was flying, you know, if let's say Cat was flying the Spitfire and Hanzo was flying the Yak and they were trying to turn fight, the Spitfire would win. But then you could claim that, you know, the reason that Cat won was because she was using the Spitfire. So that's why they are using identical planes as well, to stop any kind of, I don't know, debate, I guess, on who really is the better pilot. So, I mean, if you're on identical planes, then it is all about skill, how you use that plane to outmaneuver your opponent. I wish I could show cockpit for you guys. Unfortunately, I cannot. Well, I mean, Hanzo is catching up, guys, so at some point we will see somebody... we are seeing the 2v2s next, guys. And they become a little bit more chaotic as both guys try and figure out where everybody is. We also get to see some aerobatic smoke as they start signaling each other. It also becomes a little bit prettier. I mean, this is what happens when you're in identical planes, guys. And I mean, they can't fly away to AAA. A lot of people say, a lot of people use that argument. Why don't they fly to AAA? Well, there isn't any. Why don't they fly home? Why don't they reload? I mean, this isn't even close to the longest series. NBSI have got the record of the longest game being over an hour, nearly 2 hours. A 1v1 ended up with one guy running out of ammo and the other guy being so critted that he couldn't attack the other guy. So... I mean, they are getting close to the ground, so we might see somebody hit a tree. They're not going to run out of fuel anytime soon. They have about 20 minutes of fuel. And that's the minimum they can carry. There is obviously a rule on fuel, but you wouldn't really want to take more fuel. I believe one guy said that it increases your diving speed, but that doesn't really help when you're in a turn fight. It makes you slow and sluggish. Cat just... stalling out, going into a spin, and hitting the water. So NBSI won a round. And on this occasion it was the water that won. No, no trees. So all you guys who bet on trees lost. Sorry guys. Apologies. Guys, we can all sit here and say, wow, these guys hitting water and stuff. But seriously, like, these guys have been up against a lot of other teams. They have fought, you know, to even get here. This is the final, like, 16 teams from 8 from the east and 8 from the west. So now we just need to wait for everybody to ready up. And we'll get into the 2v2s. This isn't a tank battle, so that's where the tanks are. There are no tanks here. So guys, you'll be pleased to know that there is a short break. While we wait for the break, I do have a quick video to show you of the kind sponsors. So I'm just going to quickly show you that video of an excellent mouse that Scream112, who is normally here co-commentating with me, wants to buy.
Meet the Rocket Tyon, featuring the brand new Rocket Accelerator analog thumb paddle, giving you unrivaled command capabilities. The new Rocket Fin Switch, letting you execute multiple maneuvers at the same time. 4 ergonomic top buttons, instinctively placed so that you can hunt for prey, not for buttons. Meet the new standard in gaming mouse control.
And no guys, I'm not a developer. It has 16 buttons in total, actually. So guys, you'll be pleased to know that we are now moving into the 2v2s. They are worth 2 points. There will be 2 2v2s, unless NBSI wins one and AD wins one. And then there'll be a tiebreaker, and then there'll be a third 2v2. So in the 2v2, they are allowed to go head on with each other. But there is a gun block. They can't shoot for about 20 seconds. So they can do whatever they like for the first 20 seconds. After that, it's game on. So they can climb, they can dive, they can go hide. They can fly 180 degrees if they want to. But apparently that gives no advantage to anyone. Other than they just fly away, so. This is the 2v2. We've got Hanzo Hattori and Konta versus McCoffee and Skykiller. I actually expected B77 to be here. He normally flies with McCoffee. So you will be pleased to know that they do normally split off into 2 1v1s to begin with. Followed swiftly by one teammate going to assist the other. Unless one of them shoots the other one first. So as we can't watch all 2 battles going on at the same time, we have Skykiller versus Konta, and Hanzo versus McCoffee. So at some point one of these guys will decide to go and assist their teammate, making it a 2v1. Unless, obviously, they manage to get... I mean, if Hanzo manages to shoot down McCoffee, then it instantly becomes a 2v1. But we shall see. The reason they are using the React 1 is because that's what they vetoed on. They have a list of 9 planes that they can choose from, and the team captains will then veto them. One of them is the BF-109, another is the P-39, there is a Spitfire, and there's also a... I can't remember what the Japanese plane is. Oh, unfortunately we managed to, unfortunately miss AD managing to get a crit on Konta, setting him on fire. Unfortunately, that is what happens in 2v1s. I can't be in two places at once, unfortunately. Trying to watch the battle log. But now Hanzo has got an unfortunate uphill climb to, popping smoke. Now, this isn't BM, guys. This is so Skykiller can actually see where they are. Because obviously they have managed to fly pretty far away from each other. I don't actually think there is going to be any tree action, unfortunately, guys. So you can see that that's why he's using smoke. Obviously in Simulator they don't really have very good visuals on each other. So using smoke to be able to spot the other guy. Now poor Hanzo being so slow into the ground has nowhere to really maneuver. He doesn't want to move too much or else he's just going to stall out and hit the ground. And now that Skykiller has the height advantage, he can just boom and zoom essentially onto his opponent. Still using that smoke, that magenta smoke. Very fancy. I mean, unfortunately, Hanzo doesn't really have much, you know, he can't really climb. He's just going to lose speed, and then Skykiller is just going to dive on him as he tries to climb. And, I mean, he doesn't really have many more places to sort of go to maneuver. And we can see that he has got some damage now on the right wing. Which is going to make maneuvering even harder. And I mean, stalling out trying to get McCoffee. I think he's just been so badly damaged now. I think he was critted. Oh no, still got a little bit of control. But just not enough. I mean, that's unfortunately what happens in 2v1, in 2v2s. The first guy who gets shot down becomes a 2v1, and then they kind of just gang up on the poor guy. Unless Hanzo had some kind of advantage beforehand to sort of use, which unfortunately he didn't. They were both really close to the ground. He didn't have any kind of momentum, no kind of speed. So that means that AD do take the first round of the 2v2, the first leg, as we are calling it. So all AD need to win now is the second 2v2. And they will take the 2 points that the 2v2 is worth, giving them 3 points to nothing versus NBSI. If NBSI can win the second 2v2, they will tie up and they will have a third 2v2. It's not purple smoke, it's magenta. I should know, because I use that smoke. It's very fabulous. There are no 8v8s, it's a 4v4. Magenta is the best smoke. You can see it through even the thickest and darkest of nights in War Thunder. It is why only the best of the best use it. True story. So moving into the second 2v2, guys. No, there isn't black smoke, because then it would look like you've been critted. So no, there isn't black smoke. And to answer the question on how am I reading very line very fast, practice. So anyways, guys, this is the second 2v2. The real question is can NBSI win this one and pull it back? There is a theory me and Scream112 have. and that is the person with the little hearts on their wings usually wins in 2v2s. So Mobius here. We will see if that theory holds up. The last time they faced AD, it was 100% win rate for them. They had the little hearts on the left-hand side of their wings, so we will see if it helps this time. Again, being as this is now the 2v2 and not the 1v1, they can do whatever they want. They don't have to sort of cross over each other. They can fly off in whichever direction they please, which usually results in them sort of splitting up and trying to sort of fight two 1v1s. So we have B77R and Corneve versus Mobius and Moahiga. So this is more important for NBSI to win since that they're already down one leg in the 2v2. They're also down 1 point in the entire series. Some very nice use of flaps. This doesn't have the lift though, unfortunately. Being a little too slow. Sort of pull up. And sort of moving into, I want to say scissors. Still using those landing flaps. I mean, he's not overshooting, which is great. But he's not really gaining much speed. He just doesn't really have the momentum to sort of keep his nose up. I think Corneve is going to do a hammerhead, although it's not the cleanest. But I don't think he's going to... I was about to say, I don't think he's going to get behind him. Unfortunately, he just doesn't, again, just doesn't get his nose far enough up to be able to get any kind of shot off. Oh, B77R coming out of nowhere to assist. I'm going to guess that that means he has shot down Mobius. So it is now a 2v1. Or an even B77R versus Moahiga. So I do feel that AD are in a very dominating position here. I don't think Moahiga is going to be a 2v1. Although, I mean, it's rare, but we have seen it. We saw it a few weeks ago before the Super Cup. We did manage to see two teammates ram into each other. So, I mean, he could get lucky and force the two teammates to ram into each other, but I don't think so. I mean, they're flying so far away from each other, and B77R is literally just booming and zooming onto him. Unfortunately, guys, being as though I'm only one person and there's two different 1v1s going on, if they're a little bit close together, if this was RB teams normally fly close together and assist each other in a much closer formation. So it's much easier to sort of keep eyes on. But simulator guys like to fly apart from each other. Is Water going to win? No, Water is not going to win. So unfortunately, I can't be in two places at once. I actually thought... Oh, more smoke. I actually thought... Moahiga was actually going to shoot down Corneve. But unfortunately, I didn't get to see that. Oh, actually, they did ram into each other. So, guys, we did see a ram in a simulator game with the best of the best. So... And seeing as though the last guy flying is an AD pilot, that does mean that they win. So that means that they take the 2 points from the 2v2, making it 3-0 versus NBSI. So now NBSI really do need to win the final 4v4 round to be able to even tie up the series. Ramming is a legit strategy in the Gladiator tournaments. It happens. As I said, what was it? A week ago, I think. NBSI versus... I think it was NBSI versus AD. I think the irony of it is. And the NBSI guy had been critted quite badly on both wings and was unable to turn. and the AD guy had no ammo. So he kind of had to nudge him with his plane to win the game. And trying to watch two identical planes in simulator trying to ram each other is a pretty difficult thing to do. About. So guys, we are now moving into the final round, the 4v4. I'll try and keep up with the action as much as possible, but unfortunately, seeing as though there is only me today, normally I have Scream 112 with me. But unfortunately, it is just me today. He is at work. Yes, that is a Ferdinand in the background. I mean, in that scenario, I mean, again, it is a legitimate tactic. If you're out of ammo and you have two teammates left and you're only got to shoot down one guy, you've won the round essentially. You just need to hit the guy out of the sky. So why not use your plane? I feel that in these sort of scenarios, it is a legitimate tactic. It is a tournament situation. You want to win. You don't want to lose because you decided not to ram. And also, it's great fun to watch. I mean, two guys ramming into each other in spectacular explosions, and it's finally not you. You get to see it from like a third-person perspective. What's not to love about it? I don't believe in winning. I don't actually think there is a match time limit. I think it's just once they run out of fuel, which is about 20 minutes, so... But the 4v4 will not... will either go very quickly or pretty slowly. But normally they go pretty quickly because obviously with four dudes just sort of flying around, somebody's about to ram each other. It happens once in every 3 games, so... And I mean, they are quite close to each other. So moving into the 4v4, guys, NBSI really do need to win this or else they're out of the tournament, and AD will go versus Team Verve Gaming in the grand finals, which will be played tomorrow. And again, guys, I will do my best to sort of watch everything that happens. But as this is simulator, it is... I mean, I can see the dots, but I don't even get any kind of player tag. So I will do my best. Keep the battle log open so we can see if any crits happen or if anybody gets set on fire. But just as you want to see, guys, 4 sets of 1v1s. But we can see a lot of teamwork action going on. You've got lots of 2v1s happening. You've got McCoffee chasing Orkanako, who I think is actually a sub for NBSI. Oh, look at that. We actually got some action. Mohiga shooting and critting McCoffee, setting him on fire. Corneve still being chased by Orkanako. Oh, McCoffee actually managed to stop the fire. Oh, no, he's set on fire again. Just as I say that. Skykiller trying to assist. McCoffee, the fire finally taking out his wing. So now it is a 3 versus 4. The smoke being popped to try and alert somebody to come and assist. Got Mobius who sees the smoke. And that's why they popped the smoke, guys. The magenta smoke. To try and alert their teammates that they do need assistance. Mobius coming in swiftly to try and help. Looks like Orkanako has been hit. Doesn't look like a crit though. That engine has taken some damage. Mohiga managing to take out... Oh no. Mobius being shot by B77R. But it is now a 2-on-4. But I think Mobius is a little bit too damaged to be able to keep flying, so he looks like he's just going to go down. So we're now on Walker Echo. Coming on to Sky Killer. He's trying to kill Mohiga. I mean, these guys can't have a lot of 20mm left. They've been spraying quite a bit. Oh, he's out. He's out of 20s. He's now down to the 50 cal. Steel pack's quite a bit of a punch. That magenta smoke though. Sky Killer actually critted, or is he just listing lazily to the right? I think he's got a little bit of damage. But now that Walker-Nako has run out of ammo, he could actually ram. We could see a ram. So it wouldn't surprise me if Walker-Nako just went, do you know what, I'm out of ammo, let me just hit the dude with my plane. Wait for it. He's getting in close. I can sense it. I know it's coming. Oh no, he just crashed into the mountain instead. Taking Walker-Nako with him. But he was the last dude up, so that does mean that we do need to have a deciding round. So the two team captains will go into a private room and they will veto one of the rounds. So we'll either see a 4v4, a 2v2, or a 1v1. So essentially, we're just going to take essentially a 5-minute break while we wait for the two teams to veto the rounds. They basically, just like they pick the planes, one team captain will basically say, I do not want to play the 1v1s. And then the other team captain will go, well, I don't want to play the 4v4s. So that's kind of how they do it. I mean, it's not really a break, but I class it as a break, as the two team captains do need to start vetoing rounds, so we do need to wait on that. It shouldn't take too long. But yeah, if you need to go to the toilet, now would be the time to go. But if you guys have any questions, we can do a quick question round. The next live stream will be at 6 p.m. GMT, where we will be watching the realistic final, and that is at a simulator, not RB. That is White Rhinoceros versus Duradler. As I said, we normally watch dudes ram each other every sort of 3 games. It's quite common, seeing as though guys sort of run out of ammo and it's their last opportunity to kind of win the round for their team. It's a legitimate tactic. I mean, if you've got to do it, you got to do it. Yeah, of course I played the game. I wouldn't know what magenta smoke is if I didn't play the game. And you also saw Ferdinand in the background, so... Oh, the final round will be a set of 2v2s, guys. Guys, we don't get a choice. If the teams want a 2v2, the teams are going to do a 2v2. I must say I am rather surprised. I'm gonna predict that Ace of Diamonds AD team didn't want to do the 4v4. I mean, they did just lose the 4v4 versus NBSI, so you wouldn't really want to go up against NBSI again in a 4v4. So. Yeah, guys, we are just waiting on the two teams to start up, and we will move into the 2v2s as soon as possible. Just as I say that, the game starts. So yeah, guys, there will be another set of 2v2s, just like before. So we have Corny versus B77R, and Walkanako and Hanzo Hattori. So again, guys, for the first sort of 20 seconds, they can't fight each other. They can do whatever they wish, though. They can fly off in random directions. Again, they could go backwards, but it doesn't really help anyone. So again, we see the 2v2 guys going into two separate 1v1s to begin with. We have Corny versus Hanzo Hattori, Walkanako versus B77R. So we'll try and keep the battle log open so we can see if anybody gets critted or damaged. And you can see that they are quite a distance away from each other. The other team is somewhere over there. I mean, assistance will take some time, and I mean Hanzo and Corny have decided to climb quite far. Looks like Walkanako has been set on fire, so we are sort of here for the action. That fire just too much for the Yak 1B to handle. I mean, the Yak does normally stop burning. I believe the trick is to sort of dive and turn the engine off. But this is Simulator. The slightest bit of damage and the plane is just sort of uncontrollable. So AD looks like they have a very strong advantage, now being in a 2v1 situation. Again, I am rather surprised they sort of vetoed the 1v1 and the 4v4. I would have thought they would have done another set of 4v4s. AD are normally pretty good in 4v4s, but I guess they thought, seeing as though NBSI just beat us, it is not a good idea. So Corny is now on the tail of Hanzo. He looks like he's just firing 50 cals. I wonder if he's out of 20 mils. Oh, again, just more fires. Just a few bursts of those 50 cals. I mean, even if Hanzo does manage to stop the fire from burning, I mean, look at the damage on both wings. I mean, he can barely maneuver past trees. There we go, guys. AD will take the first round. There we go. There's the magenta smoke that everybody's been waiting for. Ugh. Maybe they're using different colours so they can identify each other in the 4v4, but should totally be using magenta. So AD will take the first leg. If AD can win the second one, they will win. And they will go versus Team Verve Gaming tomorrow in the grand final. If NBSI can win the 2v2, they will go into another decider. The decider of the decider. So we're just waiting on the guys to ready up once again. And then we'll be moving into the final, potentially the final round of the day. This is match point for AD. So we have Mobius and Mohiga versus McCoffee and Skykiller. Again, if you watch the games a little bit later for the 2v2s in RB, you'll see that the RB guys sort of tend to stay closer together than the simulator guys. I'm not really too sure why they sort of split up so far away from each other. It could be that they kind of just lose perception, seeing as though they have no real way of telling where their teammates are. But you would have thought that they would then want to stay closer together, but again we see two sort of separate 1v1s going on. Let's see what's happening over. Mobius is actually flying to try and help Mohiga out. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw smoke being popped from Mohiga soon, so that way Mobius has a better idea of where they are. So that's what I'm kind of waiting on. I mean, you can see Mobius trying to fly as quickly as possible to try and assist his teammate. But that does leave him a little bit vulnerable to Skykiller behind him. Mohiga is actually now on the tail of Skykiller. Managing to set him on fire. I think he could just leave him now. Like, that plane is pretty much dead. Like, he could now go and help Mobius. Because Mobius seems to be in a little bit of trouble now that he's got Skykiller on his tail. I mean, sorry, McCoffee on his tail. Although McCoffee just spraying and praying. While the Yak has quite a lot of rounds, you definitely don't want to be just throwing them away. So I mean, there is an objective on this map that they could quite easily capture. And we can see here, Mohiga capturing the base. Which actually forces McCoffee to sort of come back to try and stop him. So I mean, it does give Mobius a little bit of breathing room. More smoke. Smoke is very important. I mean, it just allows your teammate to just get much better and easier visuals on where everybody is and what's happening. I'm also worried that the reason Mohiga might not be engaging so heavily is because he's probably out of 20. I mean, he did spray quite a lot into Skykiller. But then again, he could just ram McCoffee and win the game. Definitely doesn't want to ram Mobius, so he wants to be a little bit careful. I didn't want to say cyan in case I was wrong. Blue is easier. I don't use cyan. Anyways, using those landing flaps to try and stop himself from overshooting. Trying to stay on the tail of his opponent. Not spraying as much as he was a second ago, probably being a little bit more careful of how he uses those 20s. Although McCoffee's kind of half given up. It's kind of went, wow. It's a 2v1, I've lost anyways. Might as well let the round over and try and get to the next one. So, seeing as though NBSI won this round, that means that we are now going to see a decider of the decider. So we are going to see a... How many 2v2s have we had so far? 1, 2... A fifth 2v2. A lot of 2v2s. And this will be the decider. Unless they all ram into each other and it becomes a draw. This next round is the decider. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw Mobius and Mohiga going up against who was in the last round? B77R and who was his teammate? Corneve. So it wouldn't surprise me to see the winners of the AD team. So Corneve and, as I said, B77R going up against Mobius and Mohiga. I mean, they did just win their rounds, so it's pretty obvious that you would want the winning teams to go up against each other. And this match has almost been going on for an hour and a half, so this is close to the second longest game of the tournament. NBSI holding the longest game, coming in at 2 hours and 10 minutes, I think. As I said, B77. Oh, McCoffee didn't decide to take Skykiller with him versus Mobius and Mohiga. So I half called it. I thought I did. I thought I did a pretty good job there. I'm almost psychic. I know which teams they're going to use. So this is, again, guys, the final 2v2. Whoever wins this will go up against Team Verve Gaming in the grand finals, and that will be played tomorrow. And I mean, if you haven't already, you should see the prizes that they could win. Some very nice prizes. Are you serious? We missed a ram, guys. We've missed a ram. So now it's a 1v1. Mohiga versus McCoffee. We missed a ram. A legitimate tactic. Could it pay off? Come on, Mohiga. Let's get that nose up. Oh, please don't ram into each other. Uh-oh. I think he's going to overshoot. Nope. I feel like McCoffee could have carried on the scissors and gotten behind, but... I mean, using those flaps to try and stop himself from overshooting. I have no idea why he shot there. Maybe it was just a misclick. Oh, a spin. If he can get out of it, I'll say it's on purpose, but he has managed. No. Spinning. Still spinning. Is the terrain going to win? Oh, he has got a little bit of damage on his left aileron. Right aileron, sorry. And a little bit of damage to the fuselage. Oh, he's now set on fire. This could be a victory for NBSI. As long as they don't ram into each other, which I mean we have just seen. Although that plane is still going. Just refusing to die. The engine's critted, the wings are critted, ailerons are critted. The only thing okay is, it looks like, the tail. Yak 1B just doesn't want to die. And here it comes. He is swiftly moving towards the mountain. Oh! Water winds. I mean, you could see just how damaged that plane was. He just couldn't really pull up too hard, or else it was just going to sort of flip anyways. But he was obviously trying to just wobble just a little bit. Wobble too much. And there we go. Our winners going up against Team Verve Gaming once again. The rematch. NBSI will be going up against Team Verve Gaming. So congratulations to NBSI, commiserations to Aces of Diamonds. But an excellent game by both guys. But NBSI being behind almost the entire game and then bringing it back right at the end. So guys, I do hope you enjoyed it. We will be streaming the RB game at 18 GMT. So I do hope to see you there. That will be an RB game. That will be White Rhinoceros versus Doradler. And tomorrow we will have the grand finals. And that will be NBSI versus Team Verve Gaming. And whoever wins out of White Rhinoceros and Doradler, they will be going up against Sky Veterans. So again, congratulations to NBSI who won, and we will see you guys later.